name is Galegatwe Mosiiwa. I will be presenting on schizophrenia. First of all, we have realized that Botswana tends to associate mental illness with witchcraft because they acquire their knowledge through socialization and interactions. As such, they tend to discriminate, stigmatize people living with mental illness. And for the purpose of this presentation, I will focus on schizophrenia. I will give you the background of schizophrenia, causes of schizophrenia, symptoms of schizophrenia, and what we think can be done to reduce the negative attitudes that are displayed by the community members. The background of schizophrenia. Schizophrenia comes from a Greek word, two Greek words which are schis, which means to split, and phrenia, which means the mind. In essence, schizophrenia is the splitting of the mind. And also, schizophrenia is a mental illness disorder whereby one sees things that are not seen by others and hear things that are not seen by other people. So, I will move on to the risk factors that are associated with schizophrenia. We have the biological factors. Under the biological factors, we have the brain structure. The way the brain is formulated or structured has an impact on how one has an influence the developmental of schizophrenia, because if there is a dysfunctional or a malfunction in the brain structure, there are likely chances that one will develop schizophrenia. And also we have the genetic makeups. If the parents one of the parents have schizophrenia and the child happens to be a boy, there are likely chances that that boy or that child will develop schizophrenia because they will inherit the genes from their parents. And also under the biological factors, we have the dopamine. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter that is responsible for balancing the thoughts and the attitudes of individuals. So we have found out that in males or men, they have higher levels of dopamine, which tends to expose them to be more. It exposes them to the vulnerability of schizophrenia, because if they have higher levels of dopamine, it means that they are going to see things that are not seen by others and hear things that are not heard by others. Now, moving on to the social-cultural factors. The social-cultural factors, we have what we call the social causation. The social causation is whereby, due to the fact that one is unemployed, they will end up being stressed, and this stress tempts with their neurotransmitters or their thoughts, because they tend to focus on the fact that they are unemployed and the stress builds up, and when the stress builds up, it leads to depressions. And these depressions can, in the long run, lead to the development of schizophrenia. We also have the psychological factors which focus on stress. The build-up of stress tempts with the neurotransmitter and leads to the development of schizophrenia. We also have the comorbid factors. The comorbid factors, the word comorbid, it means there's a combination of two factors, which is the mind and other factors. So I'll look at the comorbid factors of the psychiatric conditions. Under the comorbid factors of the psychiatric conditions, we are looking at things like substance abuse. If one abuses substances or drugs, there are likely chances that that individual might develop schizophrenia. Now, moving on to the symptoms or the signs of schizophrenia. For you to know that this individual has developed schizophrenia, you will see hallucinations, whereby the person hears things or see things that are not heard or seen by other people. So, for example, when maybe we are sitting in a meeting like this one, then you hear a person say, "Yo, I see a lion." You see, that's a hallucination. We also have delusions, whereby a person have an idea that they see things or they hear things which are not evidenced or which are not true. For example, one may tell you that you see that billboard. That billboard displays, it's specifically meant for me, even though you see that the picture is not for that, does not display that person, or the person might tell you that, you know what, I can fly. Those are delusions. They have ideas that are not true. Even though you try to convince that person that you can't fly, they will still say, you know, I can fly. You see? Then we have also disorganized speech. Disorganized speech is whereby the person cannot coherently speak, or they have problems with constructing sentences. We also help disorganized behavior, whereby they display bizarre behavior or behaviors that are not common among individuals. So that's the end of my presentation. I'm open for questions and comments.